A tutorial in Estudio Número Uno, study number 1 by Fernando Sor. It's not really the first study, it's a collection that Segovia put together, but it really is a wonderful exercise in secondary dominants and suspensions, right? So we start with this ascending line on C major, that F is getting us over to this suspension, right? So at first it seems like it's a cluster because we have that C there, G, C, D, but that C is going to resolve to the B, which is part of the G major chord, right? So you have this chord here, but before that you have this suspension, right? So we move through. Crescendo. And you try to connect as much as possible. I hope you notice that as I'm moving from here, I'm sliding over and not really dragging my third finger. I try to avoid that squeak, right? Sometimes squeak happen because you cannot avoid them, but whenever possible, we try to avoid them, right? And third position, right? So first it's loud C, and then you resolve it. And then you have the C sharp, that takes you over to this, right? So in the score it says to have a decrescendo. You're in D minor, ascending, and then you have that, right, A and E, but you have this D that gets in the way, but you really are going from D down to C, and that gives you an A minor chord, right? So you really want to bring that inner voice, D, C, right? And then you have to change position. This is quite difficult, right? Right? And you have to try to connect it as best you can. And then I move over. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping my common finger, which is the pinky, right? I have it over here in the second string. I'm going to have it over here in the E. So I do not even lift that. So I'm leading with the pinky. And then I'm moving on. Right? As this voice is saying La, Sol, Fa, I have this other voice La, Mi, Re, right? So I have to just really, I'm juggling a lot of voices at the same time. I have to do a bar here because my G is going to go into an F. And then I have to just switch over to this. Right? You could do this one of many ways. You can grab it this way. That's how Segovia finger it, which is very effective, but you have to be very careful to manage it, right? It sets you up beautifully for this, and then you have that, or you can just move over the 2 and have it ready for the E. Right? So looking at the second line of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measure, right? Yeah. Then you're going to slide this over, but you're going to switch the 2 for the 1. And then 3 and 1 move over. And then it turns into, it says 2 or 3, it's hard to see. I think it says 2. It really makes no difference because you're moving everything upside down, upstairs. And then you change over position. 2 is going to be my guide finger here. And then I move 2 and 4. Right, the D is ringing through. And then we have another D. Right? And now I pick up that G as a different voice, so it's really useful to play it like it's stated on the score by Segovia on the 4th string, right? Although you play the G here, that's the ending of one voice, then you have this other beginning. Sol, Fa, Mi. Then at the octave, now always be careful with that ornament, right? It's just an ornament, not a way of life. A lot of people tend to overdo ornaments. It's just an ornament. Let it pass. It's just ornamenting. It's icing on the cake. It's not the cake itself, right? Then bar, right? And then I change myself to third position, right? And then I go straight over with 1 and 3 to first position, and 4 is going to do the pull off from G to F natural. Then 3, right? A little bit uncomfortable, it really works. It sets you up for grabbing that high A, then 2, and here you have another pull off, right? Which is again an ornament. The reason why ornaments are small notes is because they need to be small in sound too. Then take that 2 and you turn your hand, you pivot so you can grab that G over here. So that minor chord, right? And then again, keep 2 and 4. 4 is going to have 2 and 3. 4 is going to substitute 3 and 1 is going to come over. Right? Give you that chord. Finally, F major. It's a piano, actually. Crescendo. Move it up to third position, then back to first. You need to use 4 here because 3 is going to be busy pretty soon. And voila. Third position. 2 and 4, so that you can grab 1 over here. Right? So again, third position. You're going to substitute 1 for 2 as you move over. And here's the tricky part. You're going to have to move up. You don't have a reference fingering. Right? You used this chord here, and you jump over, right? Believe it or not, it's the same chord. It's just revoiced. D minor, D minor. It says to use 2 and 3. Interesting, it's G major. I don't get his fingering. I see. So revoiced over here, and then you stay in fifth position. 2 and 3, right? Fifth position. Bar. 2 and 3. Then you move 2 and 3 over, so you're in third position. And then 3 and 1 are my guides, right? And then I have another beginning, then bar in the fifth, bar in the third. Quiet with that D because it's just a resolution, right? Right there in the bar, first position. Move over with the 2. Grab the D major. Now that little passage is the hardest one to connect in this entire etude. Now it sounded like it was easy, it is not. I have to anticipate moving over here. So before I leave this chord, right? I'm almost setting up my hand here. I cannot get the 1 in there because the B is ringing free, right? But I can set up the 2. Then I set up 2, 1, 4. That's tricky, right? Now, if I do it extra slow, you'll notice that I am constantly trying to anticipate the chord that is coming up. Right? And then I have more secondary dominants. Then I move over, right, kind of third position, right, right, I'm holding on to that A, right, so I suspend it again, notice that I'm holding on to that F, right?